since Raghav has given me the mandate to start the discussion, I would now like to invite few ideas from the distinguished members of the House as to how we can make, number one, UPTU MTU as a brand, DBTU MTU as a brand. Number two, how we can motivate students to come to science, to come to technology, to come to engineering, to come to management. And number 3 point, that how we can make this bridge, that there is a dwindling number of people who are coming to pharmacy, who are coming to management, who are coming to engineering. How can we make it more attractive? How can we make it more challenging to the student? And how can I have few ideas, but I thought that I would do that after all of you have expressed yourself. Any particular suggestion, please?
Morning, sir. I am Kananjit Kumar. I am alumni of University of Roorkee, now with Italian Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad. So my suggestion is that if we have to make a brand name, we have to have interaction with the industry. Because industry is the one who has to accept our students. The industry's requirement must be kept in mind when we are doing the syllabus and all that. That curriculum must have been already made. I am convinced with that. But the more of publicity of interaction with industry visiting our colleges. My second suggestion is that since we have a centralized examination system, we have some merit list made. We identify the students to be offered to the industry, so that industry believes that we have some system where we have the quality of student to be offered to various industries as per their requirement. Thirdly, sir, UP has been a stronghold of education, and in our rural area, the importance of this courses should also be publicized, as you are very rightly taking this step of asking all of us to go out and plan out in the nearby villages. We will be doing that, sir. But towards this, more of participation at some conclave, some convention, somewhere in the rural sector should be organized by the university, sir. Where we have some discussion, we call the general public, or the institutes, or the secondary schools, with their principals, with their people. These are the few guidelines I would. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful suggestion. I'm glad that whatever you are saying, that we have almost worked on that particular line, and I will be revealing certain things that we are going to do in the coming academic session. Thank you for your suggestions. Any other suggestions, sir? I know there are very, very distinguished people here. Some of them have spent their lifetime in education. Some of them have been luminaries in scientific and technological organizations. Some of them have been even my gurus. So I know that they are keeping silent, probably because they don't want to say something, but please do. Because I think it is important for us to understand that involvement of everybody, involvement of every person is important for us. Again, yeah, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mayank Agarwal, Managing Director, IMT Group Colleges. For a general layman, MTU is a new word. People are not aware of what MTU is. So I think we must use print media for the awareness of the students. So that what MTU is, what MTU is going to conduct, what all colleges are coming under MTU. So the print media is very important, will play a very important role for the awareness of the students.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we'll try to involve print media also. Yeah.
Namaskar, sir. I am Rajesh Kumar Tiwari from Conclave Pharmacy. सर ये जो फोन नंबर हम लोग देते हैं अपने ब्राउजर में, इसका मिसयूज होता है सर, और ये एजेंसीज, प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज इन नंबर्स को ले जा करके स्टूडेंट्स को प्राइवेटली कॉल करती हैं. तो क्या ये सही है? अगर सही है तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
बहुत अच्छा सवाल पूछा आपने और बहुत अच्छा ये किया। There has been a problem when the students have provided their mobile number or their landline number, that data gets leaked out and then the private agencies use that for this thing. I can only tell you that we are trying to enter into a non-disclosure agreement. NDA is a non-disclosure agreement with any company which is going to work with us and who is having access to this data. Therefore, this data will not go out. Yes, I understand your listening and it has not come out there. We will see to it that this will be kept confidential. I will put it this thing. This personal data will be kept confidential and to the best of our ability, nobody will be given this particular data.
एक बात और कहना चाहूँगा सर।
Yeah, I think it's a very important point and I'm thankful for you.
एक बात और कहना चाहूँगा, हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस क्वालिटी एजुकेशन नहीं प्रोवाइड करा रहे हैं। उसका रीजन ये है कि नंबर देने का बहुत ज्यादा कोशिश किया जा रहा है और इंडस्ट्रीज को सब पता है। अगर कोई बच्चा थ्योरी में फेल होता है, राजीव गांधी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हेल्थ साइंसेज बैंगलोर, ये गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटी है सर, वहां बच्चा कोई थ्योरी में फेल होता है तो ऑलरेडी प्रैक्टिकल में फेल माना जाता है और उसको दोबारा प्रैक्टिकल होता है। ऐसे अगर प्रैक्टिकल में फेल है तो थ्योरी में उसको फेल माना जाता है। तो क्या ये प्रोसीजर इधर नॉर्थ में नहीं हो सकता?
बिल्कुल हो सकता है सर, बट हाँ, मेरा ये सजेशन होगा कि मैं पहले ये एस्टैब्लिश कर लूं कि हमारे कॉलेजेस में, बुरा माने लोग, कॉलेजेस में प्रैक्टिकल होते हैं। यानी ये तो एस्टैब्लिश करें कि प्रैक्टिकल होते हैं, अगर प्रैक्टिकल होंगे तब हम इसको लागू कर सकते हैं। देयर इज अ वेरी सिंपल थिंग दैट द स्टूडेंट हैज टू पास द थ्योरी एंड प्रैक्टिकल्स इंडिविजुअली इन ऑर्डर टू बी डिक्लेयर्ड पास इन दैट सब्जेक्ट। सर, I am very glad that you have started talking in terms of quality. That is the touchstone. If today we are not being able to come out as a brand, it's only because of quality. Those of our institutions, because of whom we are still holding our head high, they are trying to strive for quality. They have strived for it. They have brought in quality, and their names are good. And we are basking in the glory of these colleges. I'm sure that is our mission, that we will try to ensure that quality gets rewarded, quality gets encouraged, and most important of all, quality becomes visible. That is my challenge and that is what I will bring about. I'll be talking about it after a few minutes.
Myself, Suryan Kansar, Director of Education College. I have few observations. First, about BTech. As they rightly said, quality of practicals and quality of education. If I will say that education industry, take it as an industry, raw material coming in and the product is going out. So we have to think what raw material we are getting, what processing we are adopting, and what is the final product. You have just said, sir, for BTech courses, you have reduced the percentage 40 from 50.
No. It is reversed. Till now you had only a pass. And with great difficulty we got it up to 40. But let me share with you one particular thing that have already been intimated to the government that we would like to raise it to 50. The reason for that is that AICTE in its 2011-12 brochure has mentioned that it is mandatory to have 50% qualifying exam marks for the students who have to be admitted to these professional courses.
Right.
And we have therefore already taken it up with the government and hopefully we should be able to get some positive result out of it.
So that means our seats will also be vacant for the
No sir, that is wrong. That is wrong. Why? I'll tell you. Last year, I was expecting this question and I'm coming to it. Last year, we had 40% of our seats vacant in engineering, which comes to approximately, we have approximately 92,000 seats, and 40% of that comes to approximately 36 or so. And surprisingly, 82,000 students from UP, 82,000 students from UP went to other states for joining engineering. There is something very basically either wrong as a perception, or we have to search our soul, we have to search our heart, why we are losing our students to other particular states and we are not able to attract them to our colleges. That is why this conclave, that is why we want this brainstorming session, and that is why we said we have to see that our quality improves, that our brand name improves, that our perception in the minds of the student and minds of the parents improves. That was the reason. If we are lowering down, you see, let me say one thing very straightforward. Today, no IT company will employ a student who does not have 60% in class 10, class 12 or BTech. Right? And if that is so, so you have preempted that your student will not get an employment.
That's right.
Right? So, now, please understand what I am saying. So, if we are trying to talk about this, let us openly say that no, it is not that we are interested in denying you admission. We are interested in accepting you as a candidate, but you must work hard. That is the message. The message has to be, I mean, if you are saying that by raising this particular thing, you are going to keep your more seats vacant, then probably this is not the right kind of message that we have to give. The right kind of message that we have to give is that our institutions are open, and our institutions are open for those who are serious in studies, who want to come and study in the college, not disturb the college, not disturb other students who are serious, and not create a sort of a cushion for themselves that it is an easygoing path for getting a degree which then does not have worth even of the paper on which it is printed.
But this is not in the hands of the colleges, because 85% seats come from the UPTU and the other counseling systems, where a college cannot deny a student that you are not eligible or like.
Then you are not understood what I am saying.
No, that's right, sir. But in any case, if any student will get an admission in a college, how much efforts the college has to put, and how many percent of the students? I think more than 40% or more than 50% students in some of the colleges are below 60% percentage of marks criteria which the university is saying. So I think all of the efforts is going waste to make them up to that level. Either there should be a system for these type of the particular students, there will be 2 years or 1 year for making them up to that level. Means we have to think accordingly, then only it will be possible, otherwise most of the efforts is going waste. Secondly, अगर कोई बच्चा फीस देता है 1 लाख रुपया, 50,000 रुपया, 60,000 रुपया और 4 साल तक लगातार फीस दे रहा है, after 4 years he will be in depression if he will not get job. बैंक लोन आपने बात इसमें लिखा हुआ है, from where he will pay the revert back to the bank because he will not get a job. He don't know. अगर वो जानता कि मैं ऐसा कर रहा हूँ तो वो हाई स्कूल में 12th में भी पढ़ता, लेकिन वहाँ से उसकी because he don't know that type of the temperament. There are few.
The university will be criticized that after doing BTech or MBA, the person is not getting employment. Instead of making brand, we are deteriorating the brand.
Secondly,
No, by what?
By taking
By increasing the
low-grade
percentage.
students.
By taking increasing the percentage.
By taking the low-grade percentage students.
No, that is what I am saying, that we have already initiated this particular process, that we will be raising the percentage of the eligibility from the students. You see, you cannot say right on day one that from just pass, you directly go to 60%. That will not be acceptable either socially or this thing. But we have said that from past we have taken it that there will be 40% is the minimum eligibility. We have already written to the government, no, it should be 50%. Hopefully it should be 50%. If a 50% student comes, eligible student comes, I think we will have a better crop of students than we were having till now. Number one.
But those
Number two.
60 will go to other states and these 40s will come to us.
yeah, that is the problem.
That is your perception, and that you have accepted that. I cannot change that. I'm sorry. If you have accepted that, I'm sorry, I cannot change that. You have already defeated yourself before the game has begun. I can only say that if this is the attitude, then there is no fun in talking about anything. That if you are taking it for granted that 50% eligible student will go out and 40% student will come to you, then you are defeating yourself. You have not understood the 3 measures that we have taken. The first major is that we have raised this bar. Number two, that now the UPSC is not just tick the correct answer, which even if a robot does 25%, he will get automatically and he becomes the qualified candidate. That is not the thing now. Now he has to understand and analyze the question and give the correct answer, whether it is 2 correct answers, 3 correct answers or 1 correct answer. That is another difference, which you have not probably registered. The third difference is that when we are trying to talk in terms of that 20% of the students will be taken through AITE, now you have got only 65% of the admission that have to be done through this particular process. So you are trying to get all India level students, you are trying to get higher qualified students, you are trying to get a better meritorious students. So I think we must look inwards, we must look at our own particular strength, why we are not able to attract. Have you not asked this question to yourself, that why is it that the student is going to Tamil Nadu and is suffering all the particular things and is not coming to you? Why haven't you talked about that?
So with your due permission, I would just like to mention a revelation. For the last 2 months, we have been undergoing an extensive talent pool survey of the students who are graduating this year. And when we run the survey on 15,000 students, it is at this stage. If you open up this issue which you have, this placements, the buck stops here, page 11. If you just go, startingly, what you are saying, the perception is somewhat different. What we found is that students are performing, the average performance in class 10 is 68.24. In class 12 it is 68.18. And in BTech it is dropping down to 65.24. Now this is a revelation running statistics on 15,000 students, what we have compiled so far. And interestingly, if you go to page 12, the percentage of UP board students vis-a-vis the CBSE board students. If you see, UP board students are 47% students who are there in these colleges. This is a data from 60 colleges so far, 15,000 students. And CBSE and other boards are constituting the 53%. And if you see the performance, just see the graphs on the page 12. I think the issues are with you. UP board and CBSE are neck and neck. So somewhere this is a perception like students are not up to the mark. Largely if it is a statistics from 15,000 students, we can accentuate 4 times more. So the students are largely above 60% accurate. And we are releasing this extensive report on the forthcoming Saturday, on 5th of February, during the Higher Education Summit. The invitation cards are there in your desires, which are there over there. So we are releasing this extensive report where we are also computing the displacement of the students which is happening. Like the 24 districts from where the students are not there, we have mapped their hometowns to the towns where they are coming for the studies. So this perception is statistically we have to really go into whether the students are really so poor in their class 10 or class 12, or whether the students coming from UP board has a taboo. Because we cannot erect 9,000 CBSE schools in North. We have 9,000 UP board schools, senior secondary schools. The bulk is coming from there. The CBSE is just 984. So those students have the metal with them. It has been proved at all platforms. You have to just regain their confidence. In fact, if you see in this issue where we took the interviews from the TPOs of around 20-25 colleges, and the TPOs on record have said the basic aptitude in the students is much better. It is only the language. It is only the fluency in English. That is only their, I will say, the Achilles heels, which they are not able to cope up with. Otherwise, potentially the students, the talent pool report which we had released on 8th of May, which happened to be the decadal anniversary of UPTU, it said that the engineering talent pool of Uttar Pradesh is significantly better than the national average. So with that confidence we should move ahead. The students have it with them.
You see, the point is, that is why I appreciate what Raghav is doing. He is trying to build a perceptual change. That is what is needed. We need to understand that building a brand means building on the basis of facts, building on the basis of analysis, building on the basis of truth. We must not hide the truth to ourselves, and we must not hide the truth to the world. because ultimately it is that which will prevail. So we have to understand that we must work on real analysis, and with that analysis we must understand what strategies we have to make in order to improve the quality and in order to improve the attractiveness of our colleges. Yes.
Dr. C.L. Verma from IEC Group. My thought process says that probably there is a lot of complacency in the UPTU system. We are taking things for granted, just being government that people will just flock. So, as already suggested, advertisement, aggressive marketing is a must. GBTU or MTU, they must advertise very, very aggressively.
MTU only? Why not you also?
We are part of it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Sir, say all of us. Say all of it.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, dear colleagues and key persons around, I have 2 points to make, sir. The first point is, ultimately the barometer of an institute's quality is the placement figure. I think we shall have to really work hard from that point of view. Each and every institution shall have to work hard. The funny thing is that students from UP are going outside for studies, and for jobs, their students are coming over here. Their graduates are coming over here in UP for jobs. So, I think it is just lack of marketing only that our students are going out. So one point is this, that we should really work hard for placement. That has to be strengthened at all levels. And secondly, sir, I think the guardians or the parents who are basically from rural area, they have also to be educated, they have to be influenced upon that ultimately this kind of professional education will fetch their wards better salary as compared to that of an ordinary graduate. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
thank you.
Sir, I am Sanjeev Arora from Millennium Institute, sir. First of all, I appreciate your effort and concern for the purpose.
This has been called a I mean, no, I'm not saying it as a joke or as a this thing. Sir, I really appreciate from the core of my heart the amount of effort that he is putting in. Probably none of us understands that for bringing in this data, for bringing in this conclave, how much hard work has gone on the background. And I really I think if such kind of people come about, they can really transform the technical education in UP. Please go ahead.
Sir, rightly you pointed out that 82,000 students go out of the state. Unfortunately, there has been some reasons like admission process in UPTU starts very late and last. Neighboring states starts admission process very early, and then the deemed universities are got up their own. And then last comes the UPTU admissions. So by then, after passing 10 plus 2, students do not sit at home. By the time UPTU comes, admission comes, most of the students work out for their admission here and there. Secondly, for the last 2-3 years, some or the other controversy regarding the counseling and admissions persist. Whether some stay or whatever it is, once it is cancelled, then it is again. So the trust is shaken. So the student goes out of the state. Which I think with you and with these systems maybe is...
We're trying to reverse that. We're trying to reverse that. That's why we have said we are trying to work on a timetable that by about 17th of July, most of our admissions should happen.
And rightly it is said that one of the factors is brand also. But if we think seriously that brand is from where, it is from the product, it is from the student. What companies do leave at this stage in a candidate before hiring is, one is communication skill and the soft skills, aptitude, for which we have no place in UPTU curriculum. As Raghav very rightly said, that most of the students come from the rural background and they have very much problem in communication skills and the writing skills. I have seen a lot of people in the engineering colleges who are not able to write even an application also.
And their teachers.
In the
I'm sorry to say that this was not meant as a joke, it's a slight thing, but yes, it is a fact.
And the syllabus is so designed that it has maximum number of teaching hours in first and second semester. So, when he gets into the engineering college, he do not have time to live in the head. And the most important was the writing skill, which affects answering of every subject. He has no time to cope on that. So we have to, I think, reshuffle the syllabus of first semester and second semester. Rightly as 10+2 CBSE board is doing, they are shrinking the syllabus, giving student time for other things, for communication skills, for soft skills. On the other hand, what companies need is the skills which are used at present in the company. For example, for the students of computer science and IT, it's .NET, Java and so on and so, which we do not have in curriculum. So, after doing engineering, a person has to have that subject also from outside before getting an employment. So, these are the two things we have to reshuffle and rethink of the curriculum itself.
Right.
Another is the counseling process. Last year in Uttarakhand Technical University, they adopted the online counseling as we are doing. But the result was fatal. Why? Those things also we have to see, because the student, what we are expecting or we are targeting are not computer savvy. So that has to be taken care of. That the shift, the transition has to be a slow transition, not from manual to altogether on internet. Then the result may be the second
Actually, I would like to intervene here. The two things are there. That when we are trying to go from, it's not really that we are going to online directly. Last year or year before, you had an intermediate sort of this thing where he filled in his choice and then particular this thing was done. So that was a middle ground that we have already crossed. I think what we need to do is that the process has to be simplified and the process has to be timely. That is what is probably the thing. Whatever happened in Uttarakhand was because of the failure of the software, not because of the failure of the counseling process. So we must understand where the failure is, we must try to rectify that and then move ahead. And I believe every success is based on failure. If we are afraid of failure, we will be having no success. So do not get afraid that we have failed. Build on that failure and go to the success. Have belief that if I am doing something which is worthwhile doing, if I am doing something which is for the natural good, if I am doing something which is ultimately going to reduce the complexity of the student, we will try to do it and we will try to do it in the best possible manner. So now, can I
Sir, I have written these questions.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Wonderful to have such feedback. Thank you.
Sir, I am Dr. R.P. Saxena, Director at Engineering College. Sir, most of the institutions are giving maximum stress, their results should be better. You're giving the maximum stress on the theory. Sir, for making a brand, most important thing is the industry interaction. And second question is, those students who are eligible, as you have already pointed out, any case, sir, we have about placement about 90 or 95% of the students place. Now, those students who are non-eligible, that is the most important. Now, Planning Commission has given a target about 250 million people are to be trained or given employment by 2020. Now, they have given a number of schemes and abroad for the institution, and they want beginning the branding. They have used the institutions, let institution come forward. Now, one of the things which is there for the Ministry of SME, that we should encourage the entrepreneurship. Now, for entrepreneurship, you can take number of courses. For the students who are non-eligible, BTech students or non-BTech students, there are a lot of schemes, lot of fund is available. In fact, we have yesterday about 75 students unemployed youths, out of which around 60 students were intermediate level, and about 10 students were of the BTech level who were unemployed, who has taken part. We started the course on the mobile computer. We started some of the course on the entrepreneurship also. Again, the funds are given by the ministry. Any institution who want to come forward, they can do it. But main problem is, sir, where is the time? It's so much heavy load in the theoretical side. If it can be reduced, and if you can give some weightage to those institutions as a part of the UPTU can take part in encouraging the entrepreneurship. Still, we have about 50 students of the BTech are going for the entrepreneurship course at our college. Now, we want to encourage, let UPTU encourage that those institutions who come forward and take this as a challenge, and this will increase the branding of the college. So, that's it. Thank you.
Definitely. Definitely, the entrepreneurship is a very important part of the learning process, of the management process, and we are able to bring that into the curriculum. But one thing I would like to say, that ultimately, unless a student has the domain knowledge, that is core engineering knowledge, he will not be accepted by the industry. However good communication skills he might have, he has ultimately the ground test will be that he has domain knowledge also. That does not mean that we will not be giving him the right grounding, but at the same time, the curricula has to be molded in such a way that the things are done. I mean, we do not have to have entrepreneurship outside the course. It can be built into the course. It can be built into the curriculum. We do not have to have extracurricular activities, soft skills, or this thing, and language courses outside the curriculum. They can be built into the curriculum. And I'm sure we are going to do that, and you will see the effect of that.
Part of the course,
not course, curriculum.
Thank you very much, sir, giving me this opportunity. Sir, first of all, I would like to add that if we are talking about brand, so we have taken care of that. Now education has become a corporate sector, but I am sorry to say, even in last 10 years, we are not able to organize ourselves. Like corporate sectors are organizing themselves. The reason being, there is hardly any accountability as far as colleges are concerned, faculties are concerned. If we see the gap as far as external marks and internal marks in any of the college, you will find that very big difference will be there as far as marks of external and internal marks are concerned, and there is no accountability on the part of the university on this account. So there is a lot of deterioration in last 5 to 6 years as far as the quality of the students are concerned, because they are getting marks on their discretion. At the same time, university is not putting any pressure on the colleges as far as the improvement of the quality of the faculty is concerned. There is no faculty development programs are imposed on the colleges from the part of the university. Which
don't worry, next year it is coming.
I know you for the last 20 years. I know you for the last 20 years. I've been to the BHU. I know you, things will change. But as far as the what happened in last 10 years,
So we are going to ensure that every teacher has to go through 2 faculty development programs every year.
It's good.
That is a must.
I do agree with you. I know you, sir. But my intention is that it should be mandatory to everyone. Program as far as HVP is concerned, people are not taking care of that. Faculties are not well trained. They are not able to speak well. I am talking of management colleges as far as management colleges part is concerned. So it is my humble request to you, please take care of this. Things will improve upon and quality of these students will improve upon the moment, the quality of faculty will improve. Thank you.
So please give your name first in introduction.
My name is Dr. Deshnikar. I am from Adarsh College of Management Studies. Thank you.
Very good afternoon to everyone. I am Nitul Gupta. I am representing the ABS IT group as well. I am sure everybody is doing whatever best they can in their own spheres. In these debates,
there is much more needed to be done, sir. Please.
And there is a debate which is unending, but the way we prefer to work is that whatever is in our influence, we will try and do that in our control. The one cancer that I've seen here in UPT, probably taking a cue from what others have said so far. And I only have a corporate background before this, I've never been in academics before this, is the concept of internal back, which we have been fighting at our place, but which seems to have got propagated in UPTU by students who know this concept even without being part of it in your own college. I'll just give an example, sir, that a full credit course in UPTU approximately is 150 marks. And they say that 40% is pass, which is 60 marks. The whole 60 can come in the external exam and he can still pass, which is fine. But the minimum bar there is 30. So in the university exam, if he gets 30%, the student says, I have done my paper very well. But in an internal, if he gets less than 30 out of 50, he says, I failed because the institute failed me. So 58% is the cause of failure and 30% is the cause to pass. I think if only that anomaly can be removed, that we at least have a minimum bar of 40% in the external exam. It's processes which are going to eventually guide and what we say.
Very correct. Very good. So actually, I would like to say two things in this regard. You see, there is some important things that we have to do in our semester system. Number one, we have to understand that the semester system must emphasize the continuous and constant evaluation. If that is not done, the semester system does not give you the right kind of benefit. The second thing that we must understand, that engineering is a practical profession. And until and unless we understand that theory has to be strongly supported by practicals, it will not happen. Similarly, that we have to understand that with particular today's environment, it's not basically what you teach him from the book. It is basically how he uses that knowledge to really come out with solutions. So that is my effort. My effort will be that the curricula has to be developed such that, number A, he applies his knowledge and that must be reflected in the question paper. Number two, that his evaluation is open, and the basic reason for open evaluation means that he will be able to say that if he is not able to get to this particular mark, he will have to go back. And that is very important. And the third important thing is that the evaluation process must include, as rightly pointed out, that he must pass in theory separately and he must pass in practical separately.
Sir? Technical education which we are propagating and discussing is basically a professional education. Now, as medical profession is progressing in our country, likewise, whatever we want from the university regarding the name of brand and all that, I would like to say that it comes from within. If we can brand ourselves as good teachers, then our students are bound to be good students. Now, likewise, as far as syllabus is concerned, the UPTU syllabus is best at par with any university. All over the world. The core courses, for example, civil, electrical, mechanical, if you look at the contents of those courses, in the last 30-40 years, 80% of the core courses, contents and syllabus remain the same. It is only the 20% additional courses which have been added over the last 20 years. The persons in the industry, they are managing with the old contents of the course. If we can teach 80% of our course in a justified manner, certainly our students will do wonders in the industry. Secondly, as far as the practical knowledge of the syllabus is concerned, I have no hesitation to say that it is being ignored too substantially, and moreover, say the presence of the students, the attendance of the students, the instructions to the students is secondary. So until unless we improve ourselves, we improve our facilities, we improve our institutions where we are working, until unless we introduce some checks, then only we can progress in this direction. Thank you.
So nice of you. Thank you.
Dr. Ahmed Sadana.
To leave, and many of you are also thinking of the time, but we'll try to wind up with the next few minutes.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Vineet Kansal, alumni of IIT Delhi and representing IPS Mohammed Rajabat. Sir, I have, first of all, I would like to congratulate and thank Mr. Raghav and Ravi for taking initiative they have been doing, and I attended a few forums and sessions. And thanks to you and Professor Prashankar who have been, taking a back of it and getting it done. Otherwise, it probably would not have been possible. Now, coming to the point and the thought process, once we talk about a brand and brand creation, it's not an overnight job. It needs a sustained effort from all the stakeholders, and we all must have and must take the onus of it. We as a teacher, we as the directors, we as the chairman, all have the roles to play, and the industry has a role to play, and the third parties like social agencies, or you call it UPT awards, they are playing their roles to go into it. We talk about placements, we talk about admissions. Admissions in some of the courses are in crisis, and because of the placements, and placements are in a crisis because of the quality. So the things are interlinked, and it's a kind of there's a kind of vicious cycle, but we have to convert it into a virtuous cycle. And probably again it comes to onus to all of us. Pointed out the percentage, pointed out the processes. A lot of things are being done towards to enhance the quality of the students which we got it through this admission process, towards to improve their skills, communication skills, personality and technical skills. And probably become business of lot many entrepreneurs to go for conducting trainings for the personality development, or to go for technical development. The people have left the job of vice president of some company and started the job and started running their own company and a good business, really. Congratulations to them, they have seen this an opportunity. The students are going for substandard books, they are not focusing on the core books which we have done in our engineering or management education. I don't know why the focus has shifted, but the focus has shifted. The substandard books are being referred and they are being encouraged by their senior students to junior students, and junior students are being followed up, and there is no stress, and something needs to be reviewed.
Even teachers are recommending those books.
Yes.
Teachers don't understand. That is the most important thing, sir. In UPT, most of the books which are being recommended, they have been written by BTechs.
Yes.
And that is a very serious problem in UPT.
Yes.
So many mistakes are there. Even they are not doing the correct.
Actually, sir, when I am trying to talk in terms of what steps we'll be taking, and just after this we'll stop and we'll be talking to.
Sir, what I am observing and my consciously what I am seeing is, the semester duration seems to be very struggling. If I see as a conscious professional, it's really struggling. The kind of intake we have it. We may say that 90 days of working or a semester of, at par with IITs or IIMs or any good institutions, but the kind of intake which we have it, and the kind of things, okay, we will be top, but at present where we are and the kind of students we do have it, we have a challenge to train them to the expected level, whether it is a personality or whether it's a technical stuff or whatsoever. So probably we need to look into the things, because our observation is a lot of time is going into the exams and then after this evaluation. See, the evaluation is started, the semester is already started, some of the teachers are on to the evaluation marking. It's a collaborative effort, it's our joint duty and we cannot ignore this. But time after all goes it, and the students are students, you cannot feed them of 1 week course in 1 day and then to cover it up because the semester durations are being all compressed. There's the date of exam, the exam has to start and then semester has to finish. So things are, very well packed. So then the December, January goes like this, and then June, July, and August probably goes in other ways. So these 5 crucial months are being, typically wasted. So we can have some plan to have some evaluated course either on the front of the institutions or at the front of the university, which can be utilized to train these students. Because if they do not have the core skills as rightly pointed out by some of my worthy friends, otherwise if they don't have that, then no matter you polish them, they will be exposed and then the brand will be shattered. So we have to consciously make the efforts of it, and probably we need to look for this evaluation system of theory and the practical. Practical needs to be taken more seriously and consciously, because the practical is becoming, conducting practical exams in 1 week for so many students, for so many, if you find it out, the teachers and the institutions are carrying out 2 exams of 120 lot in 1 day. Though on papers you may be justifying it, that is an observation which has come to out. The concern is, okay, you do it, but ultimately students must take it as a challenge. They must not take it, okay, UPTU exams is like this.
Sir, I have one particular this. Now onwards, I've not been looking at the problems. Now onwards, we'll be looking at the solutions. So if we have solutions, say, problems we all know. We have to do something, we have to put our brains together, we have to put our effort together, we have to put our mind together to talk about solutions. Let us try to discuss solutions. Every one of us knows what is the problem. Sorry.
So probably the time is to look at the collaborative effort. The institution must come forward, coming out from their shells to make up. No, we are talking about the cloud computing. So why don't we take up this cloud computing into a real sense? We join hands and make up some practical part for these students in a regional basis or a area basis or whatsoever. Thank you.
One solution that comes to my mind to get the students to move out of these key or guides or the books that we were talking about is to simply change the pattern of or the type of questions that we include.
Absolutely right. That's what we are going to do.
Exactly. And that is a solution which is in our hands.
Sure.
So 2 times I raised my hand, and on both times the previous speaker said what I was actually intending to say.
I know you have something else.
Yeah, I'll just want to add one more thing. Somewhere the perception in the mind of the students as also in the mind of the teachers that UPTU exams are very predictable, very easy to pass, and these are the ways to pass the examination, whether it is because of the internal back concept kind of having 40% and 30%, my suggestion there would be, if you consider it worthwhile, to think about abolishing the second clause. Simply 40% is the pass marks, the remaining clause of which minimum 30 marks should come, or minimum 30% should come from the external. If that is eliminated, that probably would solve this issue. And the question papers should not be repeated. In fact, in certain papers I have seen, I see 3 years papers of UPTU, no question outside those questions that have been covered.
You are leaking out very confidential secrets.
Somewhere, sir, we need to ensure the quality of our questions and their evaluation, because somewhere there are question marks on the evaluation. Also, people feel that everybody is just made to pass, because these perceptions decline our quality, and that is what creates the perception in the mind of other people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, notwithstanding that we have had a very long session, I would now just briefly, I have only 4 points to say. Number 1 point, and which is topmost in my mind as an agenda point, is that this year, that is till July, we will have to modify most of our syllabi. Most of our syllabi will be modified till July. We have to start a mission drive that we must modify and update our curricula. What Professor Sadhana has said, I understand that, and I am with him for that, but at the same time, I'm sure Professor Dana also understands, it is probably at the fringe end of that 20%. You know, that the organizations or the industry is looking for. I'm also sure that it is not in India, given the kind of industry we have, given the kind of production we have, the kind of manufacturing we have, both our products and services, it's not really challenging for an engineer to be highly qualified, to be highly educated, to be highly dynamic, to be highly innovative, to be highly creative, and then get a job. No, it doesn't happen in India. But that is what we have to change. And that is why the entrepreneurship comes. That is why the building of the thing comes. So my point is that we will have a curricula where some of these things will be taken care of. I cannot say that I have a magic. We have a magic band and it will happen all over within a GP. No, it will take consistent hard work. As he said, that building a brand is a very, very long process, and it will take a lot of effort from every one of us within Unison in this thing. Everybody might be doing enormous amount of effort, but if it is in different directions, it doesn't lead you, take you anywhere. But we have to do it in Unison and this thing. So first thing is change of and modification of curricula. The second important thing is modification of evaluation process and the modification of the levels by which we can have that particular thing. And the third important point is how much faculty development we can do and how to do it in a consistent manner so that the delivery to the student improves drastically. I mean, I have been in this building now for past 3 months, and we have already had 2 faculty development programs. One was on embedded system, another was on MATLAB, and I can assure you that next year there will be something on about 24 faculty development programs continuously, and they will be on the state of the art of the system. So faculty development program is my second important part in the drive towards improving quality. And the third important part is that I am going to have the kind of virtual teams on my website. The aim of building virtual teams on the website is to bring anyone from the globe to mentor our students, to give them project ideas, to give them a hand-holding, and any student from any UPTU college can be part of that virtual team, and they will be given the task. There will be guides from the things so that the faculty gets trained how to execute project. If they come up with some original novel ideas, then they can be our IP, they can be sold into the market, we can have some this thing out of that. So basically trying to bring project-oriented teaching, project-oriented education, and bringing in projects in every course of the university. That means most of the core courses will have at least one project, not only in the practice and the practicals. There will be at least one project he has to do every year. Every semester he has to complete at least one project. This is the third thing that we are going to do. And the fourth thing we are also going to do is that we are going to have on each one of our board of studies a man from the industry. The industry input to the thing is very important, whether it is in management, whether it is in engineering, whether it is in pharmacy, or whether it is in any particular discipline. The professional thing, there is very strong linkage built between the industry and this thing. The aim is that the industry should try to float some projects to our students, and they should be able to have that kind of a faith in us that those particular projects will be taken. I am already in talking terms with industries, and probably through the faculty development program, through these virtual projects, and through the exercise of creating a bridge between the industry and the institution, we shall be having this. These are the first 4 ideas that I wanted to share with you. I hope we'll have many more such ideas in future. I now hand over to Raghav to conclude the thing.
Thanks a lot for sir, such a thought-provoking and a vibrant session of ideas and deliberations. We started with the mandate like how we can enhance the gross enrollment ratio in the forthcoming admission session. So in order to take it forward, we had proposed the plan in front of you, whereby we wanted to have an information-rich booklet to be circulated and distributed across the nook and corner of the state, along these UPTU formal official brochures will be taken by the student when he goes. But if we can reach out these booklets to the students, they will be much more inspired and they will be taking it forward. Similarly, we are producing a film on why to become an engineer. Our camera teams have come, and I would request all of you who are interested in giving their bites. In your desire, there is one small questionnaire over there. There are certain questions like what do you see can be the extended role? You have a paper over there. Extended role of increasing number of engineers in Uttar Pradesh. Now this is a kind of a negativity amongst the students at large in the smaller cities. कि इतने इंजीनियरों का होगा क्या? That is a normal understanding. So your bites covering that question. What is your comment on the quality of engineering education with a special reference to your college in terms of governance, infrastructure, intellectual capital and interface? And how will you differentiate between a government university affiliated college and a private university? And what message you would like to give the prospective students of engineering? So 50 second bites if you can give after this session, whosoever is interested and inclined, the teams are here. So we would take those bites and compile in this DVD which is being prepared. And in fact this DVD would also be covering a guide to the online application form which Mr. Ayush Mittal was showing it across, so that when students get it, they can play it around and have a real-time understanding of it. So in order to just participate in this campaign where we are taking this message of UPTU, basically the MTU and GBTU combined to the students at large, through a large number of School Connect programs, through our counselor networks, through these DVDs and information booklets, we have a small